all. Sorry for our delay. I had some technical problem. So let me know if you can hear me and see the presentation. Elisa, hi. I'm happy that you are here with us today. Okay, so I hope that everything is fine and we can start our interactive lesson. So today we are going to talk and read and listen about disasters. Yeah, I think it's quite an exciting topic. Just give me a second. I'm going to send you the link. Ребятчики, как мы с вами работаем, да? Напоминаю, я прислала вам ссылочку, вот она уже в доступе у вас. Вам нужно перейти, просто вписать свое имя, регистрации там никакой не будет, информация о вас не сохранится, ничего я вам присылать не буду, да, никакие рассылки, ссылки, то есть просто позанимаемся, все, вы кайфанете, надеюсь, да, от темы, и на этом, в принципе, все. Окей, I can see Alisa. Don't forget to write down your names. Lisa, right? All right, Julia, great. Well, so while you are joining, could you please remind me what disasters we can have, or just what disasters really exist in the world? Do you remember any of them? Yeah, I believe we have natural disasters, right? Natural disasters and man-made disasters. Unfortunately, they are even more severe, right? Yes, you're right. So we have two columns, man-made and natural disasters. And our task is just to match them, to put each disaster in the correct column. So you can do it in your in the platform, on the platform actually, right? So man-made and natural. Biological weapon goes to yeah, okay, yes, I can see that you're moving everything. That's great. So biological weapon goes to man-made disasters, while hurricane goes to natural disasters, right? Plane crash can also be a disaster, but it is not natural. It goes to man-made. Earthquake, natural. Terrorist attack, man-made. Kate, right? Volcanic eruption, yeah, natural one. Tsunami, also natural. Train crash, the same as a plane crash. And flood goes to natural disasters. So I hope you guys remember all of them, right? So we can now move. Just let me check what you see. Right, so here I have a question for you. How do you think people behave in disaster situations? So today we're going to discuss people behavior right? We need to answer the questions, some questions that we have here. So the first one, how do you think most people react in a life or death disaster situation? How do they usually react? A, they panic and become hysterical. They act coolly and calmly, and they freeze and can't do anything. Freeze, can't do anything. So you can choose what you think. There is no correct answer here. It's just our opinion. So maybe you believe that they panic, or maybe you believe that they freeze, or maybe even both. Okay, so number 2, what do you do when you are on a plane?
Always think. It will never happen to me. Disasters can strike.
Ребяточки, вы, пожалуйста, ничего не нажимайте без меня, хорошо? Потому что мы тут завязаны все сейчас на звуке, на видео, поэтому давайте по порядочку. И еще раз, давайте по порядочку и не нажимаем на аудиодорожку. Надеюсь, все услышали. Да? Нет. Еще раз, ребят, ничего не нажимаем. Без меня. Потихонечку идем вместе. Итак, иначе у нас интерактив не получится. Да? Каждый будет нажимать, и у каждого, соответственно, будет проигрываться. У всех, точнее, вместе будет проигрываться. Okay, the next question. What do you do when you are on a plane and the flight attendant starts to explain the safety procedures? Safety procedures. То есть это не когда что-то ужасное произошло, да, а именно когда вы только сели на самолет, и вам объясняют эти правила. Safety procedures, правила вот эти безопасности. I don't listen. I've heard it so many times. I listen, but I don't take it very seriously. Or I pay attention and also read the safety information in the seat pocket. Seat pocket – это вот этот вот кармашек, так, кармашек, который впереди вас находится в кресле. Okay, so what would you do if you were in a hotel on the 5th floor and the fire alarm went off in the middle of the night? An unpleasant situation, right? You are in the hotel on the 5th floor and suddenly the fire alarm goes off in the middle of the night. So what will you do? I would pick up essential things like my passport and mobile and find the quickest way down to the lobby. I would follow the emergency instructions on the back of the door, which I had read when I arrived. Or I wouldn't pay any attention. I would think it was probably a fire drill. Right? So what would you choose here? Yeah, the answers could be different, right? So probably I would do number 1, A. So now we are going to listen and read the article, and then we'll check your answer to question number 1, or maybe even more. Okay, so here you can see the text. Так, ребяточки, и еще разочек. Вы, пожалуйста, сами ничего не включайте. Я включаю у себя с компьютера, чтобы не было дублирования звука. Поэтому слушаем все вместе.
We always think it will never happen to me, but disasters can strike anytime, anywhere. From hotel fires to train crashes to terrorist attacks. How would you cope if the unthinkable happened? According to experts, people caught up in disasters tend to fall into 3 categories. About 10 to 15% remain calm and act quickly and efficiently. Another 15% completely panic, crying and screaming and obstructing the evacuation. But the vast majority, 70% of people, do very little. They are stunned and confused, says British psychologist John Leach. Why is this? Research suggests that under great stress, our minds take much longer to process information. So, in a crisis, many people freeze just at the moment when they need to act quickly. It also seems that a person's personality is not a good guide to how they might react. A normally decisive person may not act at all quickly in a crisis and vice versa. Most people go their entire lives without a disaster, says Michael Lindell, a professor at Texas A&M University. So when something bad happens, they are so shocked that they just think, this can't possibly be happening to me, instead of taking action.
Right, right. So please let me know, are you surprised that most of people freeze? Or most people freeze? You can put a plus in our chat. Yeah, so hopefully we won't check if we freeze, right, during our life. So you are not surprised. Yeah, probably you've heard this information, you've known this information before. Well, anyway, we have some questions here. What 2 reasons are given to explain why a lot of people freeze in a crisis, right? Is it possible to predict how people will react in a crisis? And what do you think you would do? Kyle, you are aware, okay, about this phenomenon, right? Right, Elisa was surprised. All right, so could you please give me these 2 reasons? So why a lot of people freeze in a crisis? I thought everybody panic. Panics, right. Yeah. Maybe some of them would panic anyway. So do you remember 2 reasons that are given? Okay. They're trying to accept they are in danger, right? So actually they are they are confused, they are stunned and they are confused, right? And they just can't really believe that this is happening to them now, right? So something dangerous is happening or something that they cannot control. Okay, people are shocked because they didn't face such problems earlier, right. They don't know what to do. Our mind takes much longer to process the information. Gal, you're absolutely right. So yeah, thank you for your answers. So here we have how humans behave when the worst thing happens, and we need to find adjectives which mean. Can you see them? No, you can't. Just give me a second. So not excited or nervous. Okay, don't forget about not. Not excited or nervous. People, it is vice versa, not excited. So freeze is like you are nervous, excited, stunned, confused, something like this. But here, yeah, it is not our word. So let me have a look. Okay. Very surprised by something unpleasant. Yes, it can be shocked, or it can be stunned, right? Shocked, stunned, and so surprised you can't move or react. I believe this is going to be stunned. Yeah, but what about number one? Not excited or nervous? Not excited or nervous. Yeah, we have a correct answer. It is come. Right. Okay, it is come. So thank you for being attentive. Now let's move to the next page. Okay, give me a second. So here we are going to listen and read the article about the 11th of September that happened in 2001. Well, I'm not sure if you remember what happened, or even that you know what happened. I'm sure Galina remember. Gal, would you like to remind us? Or actually we can listen and understand this topic together. So anyway, we need to listen and read the information. Well, probably you will be able to see the whole text, right? Yeah, you can now. So let's listen to it.
When the plane hit the World Trade Center on the 11th of September 2001, Elia Zedanoas was working on the 73rd floor. She heard an explosion and felt the building actually move, as if it might fall over. Zedanoa first shouted, "What's happening?" You might expect that her next instinct was to run. But she had the opposite reaction. What I really wanted was for someone to scream back, "Everything is okay, don't worry." Luckily, at least one of Zedanoa's colleagues responded differently. He screamed, "Get out of the building," she remembers now. Years later, she still thinks about that command. My question is, what would I have done if that person had said nothing? Even then, Zedano still did not immediately run. First, she reached for a bag, and then she started walking in circles. I was looking for something to take with me. I remember I took my book, and then I kept looking around for other stuff to take. I felt as if I was in a trance. When she finally left, she went slowly. It's strange because the sound of the explosion and the way the building shook should have made me go faster. But Zedano made it to safety. Experts have estimated that at least another 130 people would have got out of the World Trade Center alive if they had tried to leave the building sooner.
Hello, everybody. It's the Teenagers Round the World channel. Our
Okay, so that was the end. Unexpected end. Okay, and yeah, right. So now you know what happened. By the way, my friend's good friend had to go to work there that day, but overslept, and he didn't go, and was really happy for this later. Yeah, I believe he was excited even. Okay, he was lucky enough, right? So guys, could you please put 1 in our chat if you understood everything? Yeah. We have one character here, Zedano, and she was working in one of those buildings. So when she understood that something was happening, she just couldn't believe it, right? She was puzzled and confused and stunned, and so she just wanted somebody to scream that everything is fine. And she was lucky enough that one of her colleagues warned her, right, and told her to leave the building. So anyway, Anyway, what saved her life? Can you give me the reason why she's still alive? Yeah, what saved her life? Did you get the idea of it? Take your time to write down your answers. Probably it's not who saved, right? So it's not about your colleague, but what is it about? Like what saved her life? She went slowly. Someone's command to run out of the building. Okay, Ahmad, that is smart. Not somebody, but somebody's command, right? Yeah, one person say them to go out of the building. Right, it was one of your colleagues, but let us think about maybe some personal characteristics. Yeah, so do you think, guys, she was able to react quickly on her own? So probably not, right? Because she was kind of in a trance, right? And she didn't know what to do. She couldn't understand what to do. But I believe that her ability to listen and maybe even to obey, right, to somebody's command saved her life. Okay, do you agree with me? She acted slowly, right, Gal? Okay. And we have one more question. How could more lives have been saved? How could more lives have been saved? Yes, Alice, thank you for your reaction. And we have one more question. How could more lives have been saved? Yeah. Like sometimes people have some kind of a protest, right? Inside. Like, I don't know, my brother or maybe my daughter. Every time I say something, my brother used to say like, no, I do it my own way or something like this. Well, maybe this ability to obey was a fine for her, right? If people got out of the building sooner, right? If people have tried to get out of the building sooner. Okay, more lives, right, Gal? More lives could have been saved if people had been more organized. Organized. I don't agree with you fully here. Okay, but anyway, it's just our opinion. It's okay. It's all right. So the next, we have a vivid picture here. Actually, it is rather scary, and I have goosebumps while watching, looking at this picture. So we are going to read and listen the article about Tenerife air crash. So this is going to be our second text about man-made disaster, right? And here you can see the text now, right? Let's listen.
On March 27, 1977, a Pan Am 747, which was waiting to take off from the Tenerife airport, collided with a Dutch KLM 747 that was taking off in the fog. It was the worst air crash in history. Everyone on the KLM plane was killed, but 62 passengers on the Pan Am plane survived. Many more would have survived if they had gotten off the plane immediately. One of the survivors was 65-year-old Paul Heck. He led his wife Floyd towards the exit and they got out just before the plane caught fire, just 60 seconds after the collision. Why Paul Heck and not others? In the hours just before the crash, Paul did something highly unusual. While he was waiting for the plane to take off, he studied the 747 safety diagram. He looked for the nearest exit, and he pointed it out to his wife. He had been in a theater fire as a boy. He always checked for the exits when he was in an unfamiliar environment. When the planes collided, Heck's brain had the data it needed. He could work on autopilot, whereas other passengers froze, their minds paralyzed by a storm of new information. Why don't more people read safety information on airplanes and fire escape information in hotels? The answer, according to research, is that people think it's not cool to do so. So next time you fly or stay in a hotel or find yourself in any new environment, forget about being cool and take a few seconds to find out where the nearest emergency exit is. It may just save your life.
Hello, everybody. It's the
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. So here, it was another situation, right? But it was also about reaction. So let's try to let's answer some questions. Number one, where was Paul Heck on the 27th of March 1977? Yeah, that's right. He was on the plane, And how did the accident happen? You can have a look at the text one more time. How did the accident happen? So what actually happened? Do you guys understand why it happened? Like why planes crashed, collided? Why did they do that? One plane collided with another one. Yeah, during the takeoff in the fog. Yeah, by the collision of two planes. Great. So you've got the idea. And actually it was because of the fog, thick fog. That's right. So how could more passengers have survived? How could more passengers have survived? Yeah, I believe it is the reaction that could help, right? Because if they had got off actually of the plane right away, immediately, sooner, quicker, yeah, they would have survived. People don't pay attention, don't pay or didn't pay to the safety instructions. They could have survived if they did. Yeah, so they didn't pay enough attention to that, right? If they if they had read safety, some safety information. Okay, if more passengers had been aware of the safety exits, right, they would have survived. Got it right. Okay, and why did Paul Heck survive? What did he do? What did he do? Was he just lucky? I believe that his wife was lucky to have such a husband. Yeah, besides he wasn't young. He was 65 years old. Yeah, he had read the safety information. He had a familiar experience in his childhood. Well, it's not exactly the familiar, right, situation. It wasn't the same. Okay, and he studied safety's diagram in advance, right? Actually, I was shocked by the information about the reason, actually, right? But the reason why people don't usually read this information. Why? Because they believe it's not cool, right? So it's so strange. Like, I know it all, that person, I'm too wise, I know everything, it's that's not for me. So it's like they're stupid, people are stupid. they behave rather stupid. And we have one more question. What previous experience influenced Paul? Right? What previous experience influenced him? Actually, I'm not afraid of seeming rude, because I believe that sometimes I'm stupid too. Like the other day I was helping my daughter to get out of the car, and I didn't pay enough attention to the upcoming car. So it was like, I don't know why I didn't do it, but I was afraid after that, right? So it's not about me being rude, or it's not that I want to abuse, somebody, but I really think that people, including me, can be stupid sometimes. Like in this situation, why don't we, well, okay, so be honest with me and yourself and answer this question. Do you always study like safety rules while you are, I don't know, going to some countries, right? Or do you always follow some instructions? Do you remember the safety scheme at your school, for example? Yeah. So I don't usually do that. That's why I believe myself rather stupid in this question. Yeah, in this situation. And if something bad happens, I think I can panic. I'm not sure. Maybe I could freeze, but I'm not going to be like a superhero, and to save lives, probably. Yeah, so I can be rude to myself too, but I'm honest. Yeah, so you see? Yeah, okay, I don't say that people or some particular person is stupid in general, right? I'm just talking about this situation. Okay, I study them on a plane when I'm bored, okay, and have nothing to do. Yeah, Alice, that's a good point. Okay, so let's move, right? I don't mean to offend anybody. Okay, so Poppy Poo, it's not about you personally. It's in general. Okay, so let's move. Well, maybe we're not going to read the article one more time. Maybe you remember these words. Anyway, we need to choose true or false, right? In stressful situations, I do everything quickly. I don't freeze. Alice, see? It's great. С интернетом проблема. Попробуй перезагрузить страничку. Right? So we have true or false sentences. Elia Zdeno's first instinct was to run. Is it true or false? You can choose it in your personal cabinet on the platform, or you can write it down, write your answer in our chat. So actually, it is not true. She froze. Okay. If her colleague hadn't shouted, she might not have reacted the way she did. If your colleague hadn't shouted, she might not have reacted the way she did. Yes, it is true. Okay. True. So number 3, she took her time to leave because she didn't know where the exit was. She took her time to leave because she didn't know where the exit was. It is false. Some people who died in the World Trade Center could have survived. Так, да, тут Лиза написала, да, у нас интересную ситуацию, что был пожар в торговом центре, сама работала в тот день, услышала в сигнализацию, люди отказывались выходить и просили пробовать пробить товар на кассе. Да, вот. Ну, это же глупость, да? Глупо себя ведут в этой ситуации. Так. What about number 4? Who died in the World Trade could have survived. That's true. In 1977, Tenerife air crash happened in bad weather conditions. Yeah, we've mentioned about that earlier, a little bit earlier today. It is true. Okay. The Pan Am passengers had plenty time to escape. Plenty time to escape. Is it true? Or is it false? Like, of course, plenty time. No, right? Hack always worried about how he would be able to escape from places. Always worried about how he would be able to escape from places. It is true. And the last one, people don't read safety information because they aren't worried about crashing. Okay. Don't read safety information because they aren't worried. I believe that they are worried about crashing. We all are afraid of this, but we just don't think that it's cool or that it can happen to us exactly, right? So probably, probably they worry about crashing, right? They do worry about it. Yeah, Ahmad, thank you. You are right. Well, actually, yesterday we went to the cinema with my cutie, and it was a safety rule, right, before the movie. So I was rather happy because my daughter paid attention to that, and she asked me if the doors were on the left and right, and she pointed to those doors. So I was excited about that in a good way, of course. Okay, so we have one last question here. What survival tips have you learned from these articles? Well, I believe that it could be useful for you, right? So what tips will you have? What survival tips have you learned from these articles? To act fast, to read safety instructions, for sure. Okay. Paying attention to the safety instructions. Right. Well, I believe that even if we freeze, we need to realize that, like, what am I doing now? Maybe to answer this question, right? And to understand that, okay, so it's not good for me now. I need to move quickly. I need to decide what to do, right? So it is up to us to understand what we are doing and act some other way. We should not panic in case of an emergency. Right. Okay. Are you sure that we should panic? Okay. Катюш, вначале было написано, думают, что с ним точно не случится. Нет, нельзя. Смотрите, don't read safety information, то есть они не читают, потому что не переживают по поводу, да, какого-то несчастного случая, там, столкновения, падения и так далее. Вот, то есть тут ситуация другая. Люди, мы все боимся, да, что что-то плохое случится, да, что мы разобьемся, что мы там столкнемся, мы боимся. Мы не думаем, что это с нами произойдет, да, или мы считаем, что это не круто сидеть и изучать вот эту листовочку. Это разные вещи. Вот. Так, хорошо. Get ready to any situations that can occur without E, right? Okay. Окей. Так, у нас сегодня что-то Оля какая-то тихая была. Оль, ты с нами? А то Оля такая активная всегда. А тут я вижу тебя на платформе, но не вижу в чате. Ребятчики, как думаете вообще... все, понятно. Я ищу Олю. Как думаете, полезная ли была информация? Вообще, полезное ли было занятие? Оно хоть было у нас коротеньким, да, но я надеюсь, что что-то, какая-то встрясочка у вас хотя бы, да, такая произошла сегодня. Может быть, переоценивание, да, того, как мы должны себя вести. Ну, потому что, когда я читала, да, этот текст, я такая думаю, вот точно, это вот та информация, которая нам нужна, да, то, что нужно до всех всегда доносить, for us to stop being stupid in some situations, right? Хорошо. И вот до сих пор непонятно, да, и ученые не могут понять, от чего это зависит, вот эта вот реакция, да, в различных ситуациях. Но хочется верить, что мы как-то в себе ее можем поймать, да, эту реакцию, осознать и вести себя, ну, в подобающей ситуации. Окей. Yeah, it was really rewarding. The third conditional practice was helpful, right? I hope that everybody noticed the third conditional, right? It was like, oh my God, Alice, is it really? Правда такая реакция была, да? Типа, божечки, что такое, что происходит? Да, ну поэтому классно, что мы с вами имеем такую возможность, да, даже немножечко соприкоснуться с какими-то такими интересными темами, а не все идти только по теме ФИПИ. Да. Хотя кто знает, может быть, вам в третьем задании устной части как попадется, да, такое вот. What would you do if your airplane crashed? Да, ну, надеюсь, такого, конечно же, не будет. Painful read such things. Yeah, I told you I had goosebumps from those pictures and texts. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about our lesson? Так, ребяточки, пока что отвечаете, одна задержка небольшая есть, да? Хочется отметить, что любое соприкосновение языковое, оно дает вам плюсик в карму английского языка, да? Поэтому даже если у вас не так много времени, вы, например, не можете сделать какую-то домашку, сесть, да, не можете выделить там целый час, полчаса, но у вас есть 5-10 минут, и вы это прям понимаете, что ой, сейчас там 5 минут свободных, можете открыть себе какое-то выступление, да, на TED Talk или там на YouTube, или еще где-то, или какую-то статью почитать. Ну, то есть вот это вот любое соприкосновение, оно прям вот как раз взращивает в вас начитанность и насмотренность, которая нужна нам для чего? Для 30-36 однозначно, в первую очередь, для 12-18, да, для даже 3-9, вот эти устные части, то есть для всего того, что имеет высокий уровень сложности. Угу. Вот, поэтому, ну, вот такие вот небольшие практики, они все в копилочку, да, пополняют нам баллы. Ну и, конечно же, не забывайте, что сегодня у нас есть отслушка, те, кто на курсе, с Давидом. Можно будет прийти, потренироваться, выйти в микрофончик, поговорить. Хорошо? Вот. Ну и еще завтра уже понедельник, значит, что встречаемся с вами на большой классной тоже практике 17:30, а до этого, кто записан, я ее создала, кстати говоря, уже отслушечка. Завтра по 3-му заданию устной части тоже все готово. Вот. Задание на reading тоже будет, конечно. Оль, все будет. Отслушка, ура, ура. Так, сейчас, ребяточки, прям секундочку прочитаю, чего еще было у нас тут. Там уже thank you, no questions. Так, отлично. Well, that means that we can say goodbye to each other. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a great mood. See you tomorrow, guys. Right? See you. Bye-bye.